yesterday, and it came back non-qualified, and that's pretty much. She wasn't sure what her credit score was. And she's retired. She has income coming in, but it shows like 21,000, for annual. Um, which I know she's got more, but when it comes back saying non-qualified, that pretty much means I can't really do anything with her through LenCred. um, that's my first question.
Well,
Um,
you
whether
want me to
that
answer that one first?
pardon?
I can address that one first. So, kind of yes and no. There's a lot of people on here that can tell you that they've had, we call them DQs when somebody's not qualified or, doesn't get an offer, DQs or disqualified. There's a lot of people on here that have gone through our reconsideration process and they've requested us to reconsider the algorithmic decision and potentially overturn that decision. And so, I would say, and anybody that has a different experience, please speak up. I would say that at least half, if not more than half, of the reconsideration requests that we've received over the last several months have been kind of overturned and granted. And I think part of that is because the AEs that are on the call today and that are requesting reconsideration are following a format that kind of works. So our format, if you have a prospect who gets a DQ in FPN and you think that that deal makes sense or there's some merit or some reason as to why we should reconsider that automated decision, then you and the client or you and the prospect can submit a reconsideration request via email. You would send it to the SBS team, so sbs@lencred.com, and you would include four things. Number one is, here's what happened. Number two is, here's why it happened. Number three is, here's why it won't happen again. And number four is, my credit is important to me because. So I'll give you an example. Again, what happened, why it won't happen again, and my credit's important to me. So, if it was, a quick example would be, I went through a divorce and as a result of that, had several late payments and got behind on my credit and was also took me a while to rebound. I am now back to work. The divorce is behind me. This won't happen again because, man, did I realize how painful it is to go through these last 6 months or these last 2 years without having good credit, and I never want that to happen again. So again, that's what happened. That's why it happened. Here's what, the reason this won't happen again, we just talked about. And, my credit is important to me because I never want to be in that position again. And I've learned that, if I can ever get approved for any kind of loan, when I have bad credit, I have to pay it. It's a lot harder to get approved and I have to pay a lot more. I don't want that to happen again, blah, blah, blah. My credit used to be very important to me and probably is more important to me now than it ever has been. Something like that gives us some reasons why they had the issues that stopped them from being approved, what they've done about it. And the fourth part, I think, most people here would tell you is hopefully they'll tell you it's an important part of the exercise, because if you help the prospect to explain or articulate why their credit is important to you, then they will come back to the survey, or excuse me, to the CSP. If the overturn is granted, they will come back with a heightened sense of appreciation or value placed on their credit quality that oftentimes is, and in your case, it might have been the income, but oftentimes with DQs, it's the credit that plays the bigger role in why they didn't get the initial automated approval. If the household income is $21,000, the real question is, are there resources to cover any of the debt that they're going to incur, while they're starting, building, or growing the business. And so, the income piece is there to help us be somewhat responsible. Again, it's not our job. We don't want to cross the line in telling people how to run their life and how to manage their budgets. That's not really our job, but we do want to be responsible with who we kind of allow into the program. And again, by responsible, we don't mean, stepping into a greater role than we should, but we mean being, again, responsible and not putting someone in harm's way if they don't have the income to justify. And again, all that being said, we recognize that entrepreneurs of the world are the ones that take risks. They take risks
Mhm.
to change the world. And so again, therefore, that's a delicate line, and one that we have no desire to cross or even really get too close to. Because again, entrepreneurs change the world, and they take on risk and debt and all kinds of, challenges that probably the rest of the world just doesn't want to take on. So.